Hi Management 7330 students, this is Steve Wagner, your professor. And this video is a quick tour of the Blackboard Shell that we're using for this course. When you first get into the course, you'll land on the announcements page. And right now I just have a welcome announcement there, but I will be regularly posting announcements talking about the upcoming module, or telling you that I've posted grades, or making other announcements about the flow of class. And so make sure you're watching those announcements. They will also be sent at the same time to your email. Now, right now you can't see the main menu, and it's because it's in the hidden stage. If you kind of put your cursor around the left hand, you'll see there's this arrow, and there that opens up the main menu. So just in case you didn't see that when you go in, that's how you get into that main menu. Oftentimes it's just there. And this is an important area because it's got all the links you need to navigate around the class. And you'll see that I have them organized in different areas. At the top, there's general course information. Next, there's different course activities. There's communication. And at the bottom, various resources that you can use throughout class. When you start the class, you should start with the orientation. Start where it says start here. And as you do, it'll go through some important things like the course description and the rationale, and also other material here that you'll have. One thing that is important, again, is that you go through all of it. Sometimes you have to scroll down. And here you'll see, as you scroll down, one of the things at the very bottom is this information about access to Microsoft Office. That's going to be important because we're going to be using Microsoft Office, in particular Excel, when we get into the HR analytics portion of this class. You'll also likely be using things like Word and maybe PowerPoint, and you may already have this, but if you don't, there is information here about how you can get access for free through your student fees that you've already paid. You have access to Microsoft Office, and so I've got information in the orientation tab about that. Now if we go back up, again, we can always go back to the announcements area by hitting home. Or announcements. I've got a tab here for the syllabus and the schedule, and so you can have either Word or PDF versions of those. Also, when you look there, I've got information about course readings up there, and so all of the course readings are here, and so these are also listed within the modules, but I open up module 1 week at a time. And so if, for instance, you wanted to start reading ahead for module 2, you can always access that through this area with the course readings under syllabus and schedule. I also have their instructor information, so if you can't remember my email or you want to call me, again, I've got my work phone number, but my cell phone number, you can also contact me. I'm more likely to be reached there. You can call me 7 days a week. I just ask that you limit those calls until after 9 a.m. or before 9 p.m. And if you do leave me a message, please give me enough information like who you are and what class you're in. I teach many different classes, and the nature of your issue, and how I can get back in touch with you. I also, in this instructor tab, you can see that I've got access to the Blackboard Collaborate room that we'll use for office hours that are online. So on Wednesday mornings between 10 and noon, I have online office hours, and you can access it through this link on the instructor information tab. Of course, if you also at some point want to make an appointment with me, we can also meet outside of those office hours on Blackboard Collaborate. It's a great way for us to work together on, for instance, an Excel assignment that you might have. And so think about, coming to those office hours or making an appointment if you do want some of that one-on-one teaching that I'm very happy to provide. Now, if we get into the course activities area, one of the main places you'll be using is this course modules. Okay, and you see that module 1 is open right now. And so when we go into module 1, you will see it lists a bunch of things under the table of contents. And these are clickable links, each step, each thing you should do in this module. And if you look at the course schedule, you'll see that there's a high correspondence between the course schedule and these items in the module. Okay, so I have sometimes they're a link to some other part of the course. Here I'm giving you links to the syllabus and schedule and that orientation area we looked at. I want you to go through that and understand it as part of module 1. I also have a video on the syllabus and the schedule, and so that's a great thing to watch. I've got the reading for module 1 listed up there, and then I've got some videos, and at the bottom there is the introductions discussion board that you'll see. And in module 1 we're going to do introductions, but it's also a graded assignment, so make sure that you're answering all of the questions, and in that last part that you're citing the readings. Okay, look at that the rubric we use for discussion boards that will be applied in this first module for the introductions discussion. As we go back to the main menu, you can see there's different ways to get into the different assignments. Of course, you can get to them all through the modules. I also have them in different folders listed here. Again, they won't all be available at this point. Most of them won't be available. I open them up as they come up in the modules. And after the deadlines are passed and the grace periods passed, they will also disappear from view. Of course, there is also grades, and so Blackboard Grades is an area where you can see and get feedback on the assignments that you've submitted for those assignments. Again, oftentimes there's a grading rubric that I've put in Blackboard so you can see where you may have lost points. When I'm doing that, I'm always giving you written feedback as well, and so make sure you look at that. And if you look at the feedback from the rubric and what I've written, you can, in most cases, make a course correction if you've lost points initially, and it's not going to hurt your grade too much if you just pay attention and make those corrections on future assignments. There are various ways to communicate with me. Of course, the email you can get here. Now, one thing about emailing through Blackboard, if you email me through Blackboard, it will be sent to my GSU email. And when I respond to that email, it will be sent to your GSU email. So within Blackboard, you can initiate an email to me that goes through the email system at GSU, but any kind of correspondence after that is through that GSU email system. We are not using any messages inside Blackboard for communicating. You can initiate it into the email system, but from there on out, you've got to use that GSU email system. Again, you can also meet me in Blackboard Collaborate. That's a video teleconferencing software. And we've got, for instance, in addition to the introductions forum, we've got a course questions discussion forum. So if you've got questions, especially those that you think the whole class would benefit from, please post them on the course questions discussion forum. I try and subscribe to all those forums so I see when you ask those questions. And you might want to subscribe so you know when one of your colleagues in class might have a question. Okay, as we go further down the main menu, we'll see that there's lots of different resources. If you're not as familiar with Blackboard, you might want to get into these student tech resources. There's a lot of tutorials on Blackboard that you can get into. There's the Writing Center, there's the library. There's many different student services that can help you. I will say in this class, looking for those opportunities to learn about Excel, if that's something you haven't been exposed to, oftentimes there are extra workshops throughout the university, many times offered in the College of Business, that can be very useful for this purpose. Well, that's going to be it for my tour of the Blackboard Shell. I look forward to working with you this semester. Please contact me whenever you have a question. Have a good one. Bye now.